Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Just on my way into Birmingham. Had a couple of weeks off training, so end of the season as such. I think I've taken this back from when I was back in the track days when I used to do my athletics. Generally the season would finish around probably September time, but try to take a couple of weeks off every year, just to let the body recover. So so just on my sort of last weekend, I'm back training on Monday. So today, just off into Birmingham, trying to catch up. Well, I'm going to go catch up with my coach, also called Simon. So we're just having a bit of a catch up, going for a coffee at Starbucks, and just talk about sort of next season. Talk around some goals, talk around training, talk about maybe what we might do slightly different to this year, see what improvements we can make. So Simon basically looks after my my running schedule and also my strength and conditioning. I mainly started training with Simon just to get the sort of strength and conditioning coaching, but he's former athlete. Used to train at my first club back in the day. He used to do a bit of steeplechase like myself, but also a sort of 800 and 1500 runner. Pretty good 800 runner, to be fair. I think he's 153, 154 runner, and also coached some pretty good youngsters in his day as well. So he's been looking after my running and my sort of weight, strength conditioning sort of training. So I'm off to meet him this morning in Starbucks. Should be about a half-hour drive into Brum. So looking forward to it and seeing what plans we can put in place for next year. So I'll give you a bit of a debrief after the coffee and breakfast with him shortly. I'll talk to you in a bit.
You give me everything I need. 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 Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me everything I need. You give me everything I need. You give me everything I need.
So just got back from Birmingham from seeing Simon. Great to catch up. So like I said in the car earlier, just off the back of a couple of weeks downtime from pretty much my season being over, or the majority of the main sort of season. So I normally take 2 weeks off a year, so catching up with Simon was just to recap some of the races we'd done this year, celebrate some of the results, especially sort of the national championship, winning the gold there, but also the European races as well, the 5th at the middle distance and the 4th at the standard distance as well over in Portugal as well this year. So so really chuffed. Had a really positive year. PB over the 10 mile. V40 PB over the 5k as well. So and I've still got the rest of the calendar year, I suppose, to have a look at some of the races. So the main objective was just to catch up. Don't get to see Simon too much face to face. We do a lot of our strength and conditioning virtually, so it was good just to meet him really, and have some sort of conversations, and then just planning into next year. So race wise, most of the races have been announced now. I've just got to make a decision between the middle distance in Germany, which is at Alsdorf again, which is the World Championship, just got announced this week. But on the same weekend, it's the European Standard over in Poland. Probably looks like I'll probably go hopefully over to Alsdorf again, have a crack at the Worlds for the middle distance, and then go to Pontevedra in I think it's June, July time for the World Standard distance there, which I've qualified for as well. So probably look to do 2 Worlds races next year, and then just debating after that. I think it's in July. There's the 70.3 Weymouth. I think it's Weymouth or Swansea. So maybe have a look at doing a half Ironman perhaps as well. Bigger objective, I think, hopefully in the next couple of years, is maybe to have a look at another Ironman as well at some point with my training partner Mark. He's got a young daughter at the moment, so training's a little bit difficult to do something like that, but we're hoping maybe to go over to Denmark, Copenhagen, and do the Ironman perhaps in a few years. Race-wise, it looks like two sort of duathlons internationally. The Nationals and the British Champs hasn't been announced yet, and then on top of that, really looking to get some good quality time trials in again. I've got a half marathon hopefully in November, maybe looking to do Silverstone, have a good crack at an outright PB for that. I haven't really done many half marathons in my time, so hopefully I'm looking to maybe go sub 118, which would be fantastic. Somewhere between 115 and 118. I'm not sort of sure what form I'll be in. And then in October, later in about 3 or 4 weeks, I've got the World qualifier for next year as well, which I need to tick off. Otherwise, I won't be going to Pontevedra in June. But I'm hoping I can get that ticked off later this month. And then in terms of actual training, one of the reasons we wanted to catch up was just to try and have a look at what I've been doing this year, how I can move that on a little bit into next year. So made quite a lot of adjustments over the last few years, so now it's sort of like where can I improve, what can I do, and it's a difficult when I can't really add much more time into training. So one of the things we're going to look at, we introduced some hill reps this year on week 1 and week 3 of my sort of like 3-week cycle before I have my easy weeks. So the middle week I've been just doing a steady run. What I'm going to look to do is hopefully bring in a bit of a longer tempo session. I don't do too many longer sort of tempo sort of runs. So looking then week 2 of the 3-week cycle, just to do maybe a longer tempo run, like 2 15-minute efforts or 3 10 minutes or something like that, just to try and get a little bit of that, something a little bit different. So a lot of my sessions on the grass are normally sort of like a 10-minute effort followed by, a 5-minute effort, and then 10 1 minutes, for example. I don't tend to do sort of longer 3 sets of 10 or 2 15-minute efforts or whatever that might look like. So, and then maybe look to do that on the road as well. I do a lot of my training on the grass, either the road or possibly think about maybe putting it in on the canal when I'm in the office at work or something as well. So seeing if I can do those sorts of sessions perhaps when I'm in the office. So I'm just gonna weigh that up and see what that looks like. But that's something we want to perhaps introduce. Second to that, long runs, everything like that is all fine. We're going to keep all that the same. So run wise, trying to introduce those tempos, still look at the hill sessions, but might just have a little bit of an experiment about maybe doing some slightly different lengths of hills or things like that. And then in terms of other things I want to look at, nutrition. I need to have a look at race nutrition. So Simon's just going to have a little bit of a look into that for me. So I'm a little bit, I'd say a bit unorganised really with my race day nutrition. I have a few gels, maybe have a gel before I start, might have a gel sort of back end of the first run, but I'm not really planned in terms of how much carbs I'm putting in or whatever that might look like. So I need to do a little bit of work on that, a little bit of work with Simon on what that could look like. I might even go up to Talk Fuel and see if I can speak to them about it. So I get a bit of a discount with their stuff as a bit of a brand ambassador. So I might go up to Talk and see if I can just get some advice from them, especially as well, not knowing if it's a cold day or if it's a really hot day, how to change that up. So I need to be a little bit more scientific with that, and I think that's something which will hopefully give me some quite good gains. Then got a bike fit with Matt Bottrell on the 2nd of December, so probably looking to have a new cockpit on the Factor, so change that out and get the new drag to zero 0.66 cockpit that's just been released this year. So hopefully going to have a look and get that all sorted 2nd of December, and hopefully try and get a little bit more of a tweak on the position as well. So I'm holding my position well on the bike. I think I can still make a bit of gains aerodynamically, and there's a few other bike bits as well that I might look to swap out next year in terms of a waxed chain for race day, for example, as well, which would be a good investment. Then also looking at a bit of sports psychology as well. So I'm going to order, I think it's Steve Peters' book, which is the Chimp Paradox. So I'm going to have a little look at that, get that ordered this week, and do a bit of reading up about that sort of sports psychology, and look at how I can make some improvements there, get my brain in a good place, get myself motivated, look at how perhaps sometimes you can psych yourself out of races and things like that. So I'm going to try and get a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more insight into how that can help me probably perform a little bit better. So and then looking at weights as well. So one of the big things, my weight training, I've made some really good improvements on that over the last sort of 3-4 years. I've got to get a new kettlebell, so I'm up to 20 kilograms at the moment with my kettlebell, so I'm going to up that to 24 kilograms and get that sort of ordered as well, so I can make some improvements there. And then we'll see how that goes then on the run up to Christmas. So over the next couple of weeks I'm going to get that ordered. Decathlon is a good place in the UK to order those from. I get most of my kit from there. It's quite a reasonable price. So I'll get that ordered over the next few weeks. So and then things as well, some smaller things that I'm going to look to do is, especially training wise, when I go and do my reps down the local park and things, I'm warming up, I'm doing a good 10-minute jog down, sort of a good mile. But I'm going to try to introduce sort of 2 to 3 60-minute sort of strides or quick sort of efforts before the session starts, hopefully just to get some of that cobwebs out. So I'm sort of going into those first few reps with a little bit more speed and a bit more pace. So sometimes it can take me a little while to run into the sessions when I'm, especially first thing in the morning. So that's something we're going to look at in terms of just doing a few reps before the session, just to, I suppose, warm up a little bit more and get myself in a better place. And then target wise next year, like I said, the big 2 targets are the World Championship races, and then also looking then to improve the 10 miles and the 25. So try and race a little bit more this year over the cycling. I've been a bit unfortunate with a couple of 2-3 races which were cancelled and postponed due to roadworks. So I need to have a look at that, get back on the Stourbridge TT sort of little race series as well. I did a couple of races for them this year, so I'll try and get a few more in there. So just a few minor bits that we're going to improve on, really. I think we've got a plan and a strategy that's working well. The training's been going well. My bike program I feel is still effective. Hopefully I can just increase a little bit the FTP on that, so that I can work a little bit harder on that, improve the weights, look at introduce a new tempo session, a few more strides and things like that on the warm-ups to those sessions. But generally we're just going to experiment and tweak a few bits, hopefully get onto the cross countries this winter, and then just see how we're going up until Christmas, really. But I've just made some hopeful smaller amends, really, to the stuff that is working pretty well. So I'll let you know how this sort of starts to play out over the next few months. Back training tomorrow, or on Monday, back training on Monday. So looking forward to that. Yeah, and if you haven't, yeah, like and subscribe. My subscribers are going up slowly, but it'd be great if yeah, have a few more subscribers. And also, if there's anything you want to know a little bit more about, just ping me a note. But yeah, hopefully some of this content is useful to you, and I will post some more in the coming weeks, and see you all soon. Bye for now.